Welcome to today's episode of Jazz Beats, your #1 podcast for jazz news and entertainment. Here are your hosts, Jackson and Tyson.
Thanks for tuning in to Jazz Beats, everybody. We are back for another episode. Life is good in the jazz fans world right now.
Yes. We're actually finally getting some mentions on ESPN and some other networks. We almost had to go 11 games before we did, but it's worth it.
It's so nice. You're listening to Jazz Beats. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jackson, as always.
And this is Tyson.
We're happy to be here. Thank you if you're listening on one of your podcasting apps. Also, thank you to you viewers on YouTube. If you weren't aware by now, it's time. It's time to be aware.
Yeah, YouTube's a thing.
It's a thing, and we're here, and we're happy to be here. And we have a lovely new backdrop today.
Yeah, we spent all morning putting this together.
Thanks to the folks over at Fizz. We'll get to them a little later, but Fizz is fantastic. You can find us on all social media. Thanks for watching, following, and listening.
Yeah, for sure. We hope you're as loyal as you are to us as you are to the Jazz.
But before we get going, we actually made a goof last week. And if you keep listening, you'll figure out what that goof is and how apologetic we are.
We actually got a call from the Trump administration.
No,
and
we
they
didn't.
said,
No, we didn't.
They said fake news. They said we were broadcasting fake news, and it's correct. We got to fix that.
We have a retraction coming up. You're not going to want to miss it.
Yeah.
The main topic of today is the tank, and all about whether we should, whether we will, whether we want to,
as fans,
and
whether the administration, if that's the plan for the year or 2 years.
That's the big talk right now. As of right now, we're 8-3, super unexpected.
Right.
I mean, people were thinking 3-8 was a lot more likely than this,
for sure.
So, do you want to get into some history analysis? I wrote down Tyson's draft analysis extravaganza. And let's get into that.
Man, that's impressive. That word alone, just seeing it is super intimidating. So, I mean, the idea of tanking would obviously be to secure a #1 draft pick that's coming up that is huge. It's another Frenchman. And so, I mean, what's the thoughts? I mean, we talked early on, would we rather be a crappy team for a couple years to assure that we could, have a real chance at the title? And I feel like at that time I said, yeah, I would be happy to do it. Has that stance changed for you?
If you could see the future, no, it hasn't changed for me. But the real question for me is, can we have both? Are we walking into Baskin Robbins right now and picking out our cake?
Wow.
And eating it as well?
That's a really good...
I don't understand what that means entirely, but
sounds good, though.
Can we have our cake and eat it too?
Okay. Well, how realistic is it as well? So this extravaganza discussion is kind of about the historical probability of a #1 pick bringing the team that they were drafted to a title.
Okay, I'm leaning forward.
Okay.
I'm on the edge.
We're going to run some... So the draft itself was actually started in 1947, 2 years in. So we're in the 77th year of the NBA Finals, or NBA, right? So it started in 1945. I guess that adds up, right? 2 years.
Sure.
According to other stats. Okay, so first off, the percentage of #1 picks that have won a title since the draft was introduced to the NBA 75 years ago is 27%. Thoughts on, when you first hear that number, what is that?
That was higher than I thought, because I think of #1 picks, and to me, my mind immediately goes to busts. A lot of #1 picks that get talked about a lot, which are ones that don't live up to expectations.
Right.
I think of your Anthony Bennett's. I think of your Greg Odens.
Was Derrick Rose in that or not?
Derrick Rose.
Okay, right.
Although he had plenty of success, never a title.
Right.
I think of those guys first. So that was surprising to know that it was like a quarter of #1 picks win a title.
In like the negative Nancy, it's like, yeah, well, nearly 75% of them that were #1, no title. Like that's...
But think about it. That's 1 out of every 4 years the #1 pick wins a title. You look at the Jazz, who have been around for 40 years, and we've never won a title.
Jeez. Okay, negative
I'm the real
Nancy
negative
now.
Nancy
Okay.
here.
The true colors are shining here. Okay, so really, and of course, even that considering there's only so many teams and only so many people can win, right? So when you think about it, you're right. Maybe the 25% is actually pretty good.
Okay.
Throughout the whole league.
I agree. It is pretty good.
How many of those number one drafts won the title while on the team that they were drafted for? Okay, so the teams that got these number one picks, they had done some tanking to get to that situation where they had the number one pick. Did it pay off for that team? I mean, what's the general analysis on that? You know the percentage. What is it?
Yeah, we talked about it. So number one picks win it a quarter of the time, but you're saying it's not always with the team they were drafted to.
Correct.
Where do you put LeBron on this? Because he's
an anomaly.
Yeah, he drafted to Cleveland, no championships, left to Miami, came back to Cleveland, and got a championship. Are you including him in this?
Yes.
So he is considered winning on his drafted team.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the percentage?
13.5%.
Okay.
Including LeBron, who had to win a title in Miami and then come back and win one in the Cavs.
Right. That's not high.
It's not high.
Mm-hmm.
So
and especially when you think about Utah, who is a destination that people veer from after they're drafted. It's not a likely destination people want to stay or want to pursue, at least not as high as like a LA or a New York. So that being said, I think it would be even lower if we're just considering a team like Utah. Okay,
so then we ran some more numbers on this because this is interesting. So the chances of Utah, if they tank, right, and they get what are the chances of us getting the number one pick?
So if we're one of the bottom three teams in the entire NBA, we get a 14% chance.
Okay,
and each of the bottom three get a 14%.
Let's say that happens. There's a 14% chance that happens, and then if we get the pick, and he comes to Utah, and he stays, we're still down again to 13.5% that he's even going to be in Utah when he wins a title. So what percentage are we actually looking at the reality of this number one pick coming to Utah and winning a title while in Utah?
This is so good. Can I just pause for a second? I'm loving this. We usually just kind of fly by the seat of our pants and you just enjoy us as people or not. But this is great. I love this. We ran the numbers on that.
Yes.
Repeat it. I interrupted.
So no, you're good. And still, even now, the numbers are still skewed because you're considering LeBron James, who had to come back in the maturity of at the peak of his playing time. Anyway, so we're talking what's the real percentage likelihood of the Utah Jazz tanking, being in the right position to get the first number one pick, come to Utah, stay to Utah, and win a title while in Utah, which would be the end game, right? What's the real numbers on this?
So 14% chance to get the number one pick.
Okay, got it.
And then another 13.5% chance of that number one pick winning a championship in Utah is less than 2%.
Less than 2%.
So that being said, that less than 2%, is that worth the tank? That's the question we're getting to. Is that worth the tank?
So I don't know. Is obviously the Jazz administration must know these numbers, right?
Right.
So if they are tanking, if that is the administration at the Jazz head office plan, they're saying we want to be in the 1.98%. That's their aim, is to find that sliver. They're disregarding the other 98.2% or whatever that is, and they're saying they're going to get it done in the 1.98. Is that their game? Is that the game? That's the plan?
I think that was the plan a month ago. I do.
And our percentages are going down even more because we keep winning games.
Right. It's a weird conversation. And why do we look at history in the first place? Why do we have actual history classes of the world, of our country? It's because history shapes the present, right? So these aren't just numbers that they're in the past, and you can't just say, well, this isn't those years. This guy is the most hyped guy of all time. Right. This is the next LeBron James or the better than LeBron James. You can't say that.
Oh yeah, they were just
history means something,
yeah,
and those numbers are mean something. Are they 100% accurate? No, but they mean something. So the questions are: do us as fans, and we are two of many, want the tank to happen? Answer.
I
Answer.
think the general analysis or the opinion.
What is your analysis?
I think
as a fan?
I think that fans are loving watching the game because I think it's all about. And Mike Conley was interviewed after the first win against the Lakers in LA, and he said, "We're just playing pure basketball, pure love of the game." So when you take out all the ego and you take out all the expectations, and you take out all the contracts, and you take out all the signing with the shoes and everything, and you just play the pure game of basketball, that's what we're watching right now, and it's fun. And I think fans are loving it. And regardless of the tank or the title, I think that a Jazz fan, and myself included in this, I'd rather just watch pure love of basketball on the court with my team's jersey on the front. Yeah, that's what I want to see. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I'm getting butterflies hearing that.
I was tearing up. So.
You can't tell me as a fan that when tip-off happens, you are now cheering for the Jazz to lose. You can't tell me that.
Unless you bet against the Jazz.
Even then. You can't tell me that. So as a Jazz fan, pre-season, I was thinking, yeah, the tank is on. I'm good with it. Let's go for that guy. I started watching tons of Wembanyama highlights.
Right.
Now, tip-off happens. The Jazz are the best. They have to win this game. That's my mindset is like, how do you cheer against your team to win while the game is happening in front of you? You can't. And that's when the season is on, is when the game is in front of you, not post-game, not pre-game, not off-season. It's in that moment, and I'm not cheering against the guys. No more tank.
That's because you have a pure love for the game as a fan, right? Like you're in the same aisle as the Jazz players are right now. You just want to watch, and they just want to play. And the combination is good for everybody. Which would be more disappointing, watching the season of us taking 5th or 6th seed and getting eliminated first round of the playoffs, or not making the playoffs but darn close, but a fun season, or tanking and not getting the first round pick?
Option 1 every time.
I think it's quite obvious, right? Like, how many hits can you take?
Considering a 2% success rate, I'm going option 1 every day of the week.
That's putting all your eggs in one basket, and I get it. He could come in and win the title the first year. He could be. There's only one player in NBA history who came in his rookie year as the number 1 pick and won the title, and that's Magic Johnson, 1979. So you've got one bloody guy in 75 years to pull that off. And then, again, you've got 9 others who were able to do it after several years of playing on their roster. I'm enjoying watching the Jazz now, and even if we don't take a title this year, I already think this year's going to be a lot of fun for us as fans and as players.
Okay, so that being said, we got the fans' viewpoint. I'm just looking something up real quick, but we have the fans' viewpoint. What is Danny Ainge thinking right now? There's tons of memes going around of a picture of Danny Ainge sitting on the sideline with the look of disgust on his face while his team is winning that he put together to lose, or everybody thought. What is his mindset? Is he going to blow this team up too after just a short period of time?
Okay, I know you're not asking me because I know, but I'm going to answer anyway because there's 2 things. If Danny Ainge is digging his heels in and he is saying, no, the plan is to tank and we are tanking, then you can look forward to seeing Jordan Clarkson and Mike Conley traded before the end of February in the trade line deadline, because they are still valuable and they are only proving that more and more per every single game we play. If that's the plan, Danny is just waiting for them to look good to trade for even more collateral later on in the season. That's my thoughts. If that's Danny Ainge's game, we're going to see those 2 off the roster.
I'm going to predict that we let it ride. Do I know? No. But I'm predicting we let it ride because we also, if you remember, we got that Brooklyn pick from the Royce O'Neal trade, which is next year's pick. And they are in utter freaking chaos right now with the whole Kyrie drama.
Royce O'Neal's the best player on the team right now, which tells you everything you need to know. So
that may end up being a fantastic pick for next year.
Because they are going to be way low on the list.
I hope. Okay. So that being said, I think he lets it ride. I think the fans are having too much fun right now. And we have 15 picks in the next 6 years. It's not all about 2023.
Right.
We still have tons of draft capital to make moves and do stuff with. So I'm going to guess we considering our success now, let it ride.
Okay. So we always, and I'm going to bring this up because of this number's never left my mind. It's just upset me since day one of the regular season. The Jazz were booked to win 24.5 games for the entire season. Okay. We're a third there, right? We've won 8 games. I mean, we're almost there.
We're a third there in like an eighth of the season.
Of the actual season. Where do you, I mean, I know this is a really hard question. Looking at how, and we're winning playoff contending teams in our division, and we're winning them. So realistically, do you see us making the playoffs? I mean, what type of seed do you see us sitting in? What type of record? Are we going to be inverting that and actually only losing 24 games? I mean, what's realistic here? What can we hope for?
I think we've I don't know. I think we've done really well early. I don't think we're going to continue to be this good the entire season.
Okay,
there's going to be some dips.
I agree, yeah.
But I think 40 to 45 wins is realistic at this point.
Okay.
We're above average, above 500 team, and I could see us 45 wins hitting that 4 seed. That'd be fantastic.
So you're saying for sure above 500. If you had to place your family's lives.
Don't.
And your okay, let's just do your dog. Your dog.
That's just as bad.
Is it though? I don't know. Do you love your dog?
I'm gonna say above 500 team. Yeah. If we keep this same core and we make no big moves,
no changes. Okay.
Yeah,
and that's fair. You got to have some stipulations there when it comes to the life of your dog. That's really important. It's going to be super fun to watch, and I just think that the morale on the team is in a position where they don't take it so hard. In the locker room, they can bounce back from a loss. And that's what I'm seeing from the Jazz right now.
Agreed. I want to hear from our listeners and our watchers. Make a comment on YouTube. Hit us up on social media. What do you want the team to do as a Jazz fan? Are you pro-tank? Are you anti-tank? I want to hear what the consensus is. So make sure you reach out to us on social media or comment on YouTube. What do you think and what do you want the Jazz to do?
I'm going to make a quick prediction.
Let's hear it.
That our fans are going to come in and the stats are going to come at only 1.98% want us to tank.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, it's on.
Make it happen.
We're going to take a quick break and give you some words from our sponsors. We're going to get back to Know It or Blow It, as well as our mistake on last week's episode.
It's on me. It's all on me, too.
It's all coming up soon. Hang in there. We'll take a quick break. DraftKings Sportsbook is official betting partner of the NBA, and with the NBA season in full swing, it's a way to just get a little extra on top of what you're already doing. If you didn't watch the World Series, I know this is baseball, but that guy just won $75 million on the World Series.
I could go for that.
That could be you, is what I'm getting at. DraftKings is one of the easiest way to bet on sports events. And with their sports book, you can bet a $5 bet on a team to win. And if that team wins, you get $200 in free bets with their offer if you use our promo code.
I like those chances. So my new favorite thing on the DraftKings app is the flash draft, where it's quick. It just gives you this little bit of adrenaline rush right before the game starts or before each quarter. If you're looking for something to try and you're new to the DraftKings app, try the flash draft. I think you'll like it. If you're looking for a good app, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code TBPN. You know what that stands for. Make any $5 bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code TBPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Yada, yada.
Also, we got to thank one of our sponsors in Fizz Drinks in Richfield, Utah specifically. They are the ones that should take credit for this beautiful mural, not Tyson.
I lied about that earlier. We did not set this up. The incredible staff, the incredibly accommodating staff at Fizz put this together.
Amazing place to go get your drink on. Any combination of drinks and flavors you can probably think of, as well as good treats and snacks as well. They're chonuts. I can't talk enough about. They're incredible.
I know. Miami Ice is my favorite drink.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there. If you haven't tried that, give it a go. And it is the cold season, though, so hot chocolate's a hot item, too.
Definitely. Thank you to
Hot item, hot chocolate. Oh, boy. Okay.
Thanks to Fizz for letting us record here and for being a sponsor of the show. If you're around the Richfield area, we usually try to record around noon on Mondays. So
Right, and if you're looking for somewhere to grab a drink, grab a Chona, watch the Jazz game, this is the hot spot. I'm telling you, it's like a party in here. You got to come watch the Jazz game.
they're planning on playing every Jazz game in the lounge here at Fizz in Richfield, Utah. So
And the staff loves it. They get so excited when people show up.
know it or blow it. Is it time?
Yeah, I'm trying to drag out this
You're
Fizz
sweating.
sponsorship because I just don't want to get to
You're
this
sweating.
point.
Last week, let's talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
We had Colby on the show.
That's right, Colby.
Went 3-0. We had the applause going. Another victor in Know It or Blow It, and we made a goof.
Yeah.
The question was, who's the oldest Jazz player on the team?
And his answer was Mr. Mike Conley.
Yes. We after further notes from our research team, we actually had somebody shout us out on Instagram saying, were you aware that you guys were wrong? It is, in fact, Rudy Gay, who's the oldest Jazz man on the team. And for that, Tyson,
I'm sorry.
I want to hear your apology.
Is that...
Our facts were not...
I just want to apologize to everybody. Mike Conley was born October 11th, 1987, and Rudy Gay was born August 17th, 1986. So I was a whole year off. I should have known it. I should have known. My bad. But you know who else is bad? Colby.
Yeah, with that said, Colby,
the worst.
you are a fool and the worst Jazz fan of all time.
I will accompany you with that title this week only due to my transgressions here on last week's episode.
This week, let's forget about that.
Let's move on, please.
This week we have Kurt Pruitt involved for Know It or Blow It. I'm going to give Kurt a call here in a second, and we will explain the rules and get after it.
Okay. All right, Kurt Pruitt. I wish you the best of luck. This is quickly becoming the hottest segment on NBA podcasts.
It is true. Do you want to?
I don't. No.
Okay,
no.
I'll say hello.
You got this guy.
What's up, Ned?
Is this Kurt?
This is.
Kurt, my man, you are on Jazz Beats. How you doing, man?
Oh my gosh, is this live?
Well, it's recorded live. We don't really stream live.
We do no edits, so watch your mouth, Kurt.
Oh my gosh, I'm not worried about my mouth. I'm worried about sounding like an idiot.
Well, that's a very real concern as well.
I have that same concern every week.
Oh,
That's just my life.
if you're not aware how this works, we ask you 3 questions related to the Utah Jazz, and your job is to answer those correctly. And your your options at the end: are you the greatest Jazz fan in history, or are you the worst? So those are the 2 options.
And of course, at
No
the
gray
end of
area.
this, Kurt, we want you to nominate the next runner-up for next episode.
Okay.
So be thinking of somebody, and you can announce it when all said is done. Sound good?
Okay. Sounds good.
Are you ready to go? Anything you need to say or prep for?
Yes.
No, not
it's
you.
time for Know It or Blow It.
Do I have lifelines? What are the rules there?
Skip option.
You do have the option to pass on a question and come back to it. You still have to answer it. But if you want to take your time and you're not positive and you want to get the other 2 out of the way, we do try to ramp these up in difficulty. Question number 3 being a real doozy coming up.
Oh, baby. I'm so excited for this.
Okay.
Are you
All
ready?
right, just hit me with it then. I'm ready.
Okay, question number 1. Kurt Pruitt. Who is the current lead scorer for the Utah Jazz?
That would be Larry Markkinen, the finisher.
Survey says?
Perfect. Absolutely. Good for you, Kurt. 1 down. Question number 2. Officially, the name of the Utah Jazz arena is the Vivint Arena. The Jazz have played under 4 other names of the building in Salt Lake City. Can you name all 4 of those names?
Including the one now, or there's 4 previous?
4 others.
Okay.
We've had
4 others?
4 other names that the Jazz have played under in Salt Lake City.
Energy Solutions Arena,
Okay.
Delta Center.
Okay.
I like where this is going.
What?
Does Vivint Smart Home Arena count as another one?
That's number 3. Okay. What was the original? What was the
The
first?
Salt Palace.
Perfect. My man, our survey says
Yeah! You have to give an applause for that because that's a tough one.
the question mark was the Vivint Smart Home Arena.
Yeah, you were trying to be sneaky with me.
We are.
We were, but you caught us. I like it.
Okay, for all the marbles, this question's tough.
Oh, Am I asking
This
it?
is you.
This is okay. All right, Kurt, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Now we're going to give a little bit of leeway on this, only because it's a tough one. We're going to give you a leeway of 100 in either direction. You can be off by 100 on the answer, right?
Yes.
Okay. What is the total number of John Stockton assists
In his career.
over his entire career?
It's 15,000. It's like 15. I know it's over 15.5. I think it's 15,600 ish.
Okay.
Final answer.
Is that your final answer?
are
You have
you
a
sure?
I don't. What are you guys trying? Are you trying to talk me out of it?
I mean, no, but that guy on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire does it, and it's so intimidating. So we like doing it.
Oh.
I mean, fast and pray about it. Think about it. Are
I'm
you
not.
sure?
I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna hit it on the nose, obviously, because I'm giving you a round 100 number. Let's say 15,618.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Okay, here we go.
Kurt, I'm sorry to say you're not within the
no.
100 of the assist record. You got the 15,000 right, but you had some doubts in John Stockton. He was 15,806 assists.
Oh.
You're literally the worst
Honestly-
Jazz fan.
Yeah. Well, I guess honestly, I'm gonna burn all my jerseys, guys. I'm gonna really think about myself as a person. You know, can I get reinstated down the line? Like, how
I
does
think
this
that
work?
is acceptable, absolutely.
Yeah, we should have a bonus question that's almost impossible to answer.
Just the one and done
Just
time.
a one and done. Like
I like that.
double or nothing.
I
You
like
know what
that.
I mean? Yeah, we'll look into
Yeah.
that. We may reach out to you at a later time, but for now, you're just literally the worst.
Hey, Kurt, if it helps you feel any better, you got a lot closer than I did when we were going through these.
Jackson was
What did you get?
He
I
was
was
1,000.
I thought I was 1,000. I was in the 14s,
Yeah.
so
Oh, okay.
that's not good.
Hey,
But
shout out to me not using Google. I could be sitting here. You guys don't have a camera on me. I could easily be using Google, and I did. But shout out to
You
you
don't
there.
think we have a
Honestly.
camera? You don't think we have a camera on you?
do you have an Alexa device? Then yes.
Cool. Hey, guys.
Hey, Kurt, you're the man. We really appreciate you coming on. Do you have a next week contestant in mind?
You want to do a name drop?
Has Flint done this yet? Chase Flint?
No, he has not.
Oh, my gosh. You got to get him on the line. He'll lose very first question. He's going to miss it.
We'll switch the difficulty from start to finish, and we'll get him right
that's
off the bat.
dirty. Okay, what's his name?
Chase.
Chase Flint.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get a hold of Chase and get him on the show for next Monday. Hey, Kurt, you're the best. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, have a good
Love
one.
it. Thank you.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Man, bummer.
Took it like a champ.
Bummer. That's the second.
So close.
That is the second loss.
So does that
in
mean
the
we only
history
have
of
a
the game.
50%
Success rate?
success rate?
A lot better than 2.
Yeah, that's really good.
Shout out to Kurt and all of our contestants for being on and risking their fandom to be on the show.
Really risking their reputation. I mean, the next time they go into the Vivint Arena, everyone's going to know that they're the worst.
Just a big scarlet letter right on their chest.
We should make them wear a shirt to the next game every time. Okay, let's look ahead for the Utah. Just the near future, not whole season. I mean, what do we have? We've had great success against the Lakers, or all of LA in general. What do we have coming up?
We are 4-0 at home as of this moment, and we've lost 3 on the road, and we are on our way to a 3-game road trip. So
Okay.
a lot of tough ones up ahead. We have the Hawks, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray coming up, and then we go to the Wizards in Washington for maybe a little easier matchup, and then in Philadelphia for the 76ers, who can beat anybody on any
Right.
night. They're tough.
They're a tough team to play. There is something that the Wizards have going for them. The worst looking mascot in the NBA. It looks like a Teletubby has. It's just awful, right? Have you seen that guy?
It's bad.
It's bad. So
But the Heat is right there with them, I feel like. So
I haven't ever thought of that, but you're there. You're right. So I don't know. A 3-game on the road stretch where the road has been our weak point thus far in the season. I feel like every week's a defining week for the Utah Jazz. We're either going to decide what type of team we are and get the recognition. So I hope that we can pull at least 2 out of the 3 off. The 76ers is really the only game that I feel like we're going to have to really dig down hard to find a win in.
I hope the teams look at us like, okay, they're having success, but we haven't played them. They're not that good. We're looking at them on paper. We're going to walk through them. I hope they have that mindset, and we're going to find out after this road trip.
some incredible shooting from our players, though. I mean, Sexton and Markkanen, I mean, they are playing out of this world basketball.
They all are. Everyone is doing exactly what we need them to do.
I hope that teams are dreading playing us because there's a lot on the line. There's more on the line for the other team, right?
Absolutely.
Because for them, they're like, oh, Utah, they're not supposed to be good. But then if they win, we have a good record, right? So, but if they lose to Utah, it's great for us, obviously, but almost a slap in the face to all these other teams who should be winning us according to every other journalist, except for Jazz Beats, of course.
It's a no-pressure situation for the Jazz pretty much this entire year, which is awesome and makes it easy to go about your business.
I think that if we could be 10-3, I think I'd feel pretty good about that. And, of course, and then the 76ers coming into that 76ers game.
10-3, yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic. We're now second in the West, right behind Phoenix. So,
and we play them in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, right? Just coming up. So that's going to be a huge game if we can continue on the road that we're on. And I would love to see a situation where that game puts one of us in first and one of us in second place against the Suns. I mean, the build-up for that would be the best.
I like it.
Let's make it happen.
Okay. Hey, thank you, everybody, for listening or watching or tuning in or whatever you're doing right now. We really appreciate it. If you have questions or if you find more mistakes that we've made, hit us up on social media. Hit us up in the comments if you're on YouTube. And I can't wait to hear from you guys. Don't forget to let us know what you think about the tank. If you want it, if you don't, where your thoughts are at. Yeah, love to hear it.
Let's go Utah Jazz, baby.